Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay. How many of you have ever heard of the game cribbage? 2 people? 3, 4? Okay, a couple more. How many of you played cribbage? A couple more. A little left. There we go. I'm going to talk to you about cribbage. It's a board game. All you need is a deck of cards, and it has like a board with pegs on it. Played like 121. It actually has survived for over 400 years and has grown into a national organization here in America. Although many of you haven't played or really heard of it, you already know most of the skills needed to play the game. How to add up to 15, how to count in ascending order, and how to seed pairs of cards. For those of you that still don't really think cribbage is relevant, when it was created in the 1600s, people thought the world was flat, and that is no longer around, but cribbage is still around. It's from the 1600s. In fact, it actually has American roots back all the way to the 1800s. In fact, in one town in Washington used floorboards for an old mill back in the 1800s to make new boards for a fundraiser. That was from Gillian Graham. She's a journalist that covers her hometown stories, published January 21st, 2013 in McCarthy Tribune. I have played cribbage for years. I consider it a hobby of mine, and I was taught by my grandfather, who's played it for like 40 plus years. So we're going to start by learning how to do cribbage through the history of the game, how to place the rules, and modern competitions. According to Teresa Wolf, a writer for Antiques and Collecting magazine, an article published in 1995 in Antiques and Collecting magazine, the game is credited to being created by John Suckling. He was a poet from England. Like many things we have here, it came from England, eventually came across with immigrants coming to America. It's a variation of a game Naughty. No one knows what that is, but cribbage is still around. In fact, 1600s, if you think I don't even know what the 1600s are, think Pilgrim's Landing in Plymouth Rock. So now that you know the history of the game, let's learn the rules. This is, again, kind of like Ben, of meat and potatoes. It really takes playing the game to learn all the rules. These rules are coming from Courtney Ross, a journalist from Washington, an article published on February 13, 2003 in the Yakima Herald. I also supplemented some of my own knowledge in here just to kind of make it as understandable as possible. There are actually 3 parts to each hand: the discard, the count, and pegging. Is played 121 pegs. Once you reach 121, you win. We're going to start with the discard. So each hand starts with the dealer being 6 cards, and 2 of those cards are given into the crib to the dealer, so he ends up having a second hand. You want to keep combinations of 15 pairs and runs, so like in ascending order, 2, 3, 4, in your hand. The discard ends when the dealer cuts the cards and the other player turns the card on top. Count. So after you do that, you have your hand of cards, you start the count. So players alternate putting down cards, adding up to as close to 31 as they can without going over. You can earn pegs or points during this time, and that's for combinations of 15 pairs, runs. If you cannot go any farther without going over, you say go. That gives the other player 1 point. And the last player to play a card gets 1 point. And that's count. And finally, pegging. So this is your actual earning of points. You add up the points in your hands, including the turn cards. You can use that to add up points and gain more points. The player who did not deal counts their points up first, and then the dealer then counts his points up, including the crib, which was that 4 cards you set aside in the beginning, and that's basically like a second hand that he has. Scoring is as follows: up 15, so any combination of 15, 8 and 7, 10, 5, anything like that. 2 points, a pair is worth 2 points, and a run is however many is in the run. So if it's 2, 3, 4, that's 3 points. 2, 3, 4. after pegging, the dealers switch, and this cycle continues until you reach 121. It might sound like a lot, and it is. When I first started playing, I was kind of the same thing. You guys think like, I have no idea what this is, I don't know how to play, but it just takes playing and playing and playing to kind of get a grasp of the game. Now that we know the rules, let's look at some competitions. Yes, there are actually cribbage competitions. This information is from the American Cribbage Congress. They're the official governing body of cribbage in the United States. Published at an unknown date, but it's on their website, so kind of incredible. We're looking at the Grand National Tournament. This is every year, the official tournament of cribbage in America. This year, it's held in Lincoln City, Oregon, at a resort. They have a golf course, a pool, next to the beach on the Oregon coastline. But past locations have included Reno, Nevada, Phoenix, Arizona, Atlanta, Georgia, so you kind of get around if you want to play cribbage professionally. Some past champions, there's only ever been one repeat winner of the Grand National Tournament, and that probably is because cribbage is like 30% skill and 70% luck. You have a whole bunch of luck involved in this game, and that is from Cody Gottschall, a writer from Oregon State, in an article published July 19, 2017 on Medium. So in conclusion, we've learned about cribbage, the history, the rules of the game, and the national tournament. So hopefully now that you know all that stuff, as long as you have a deck of cards, know how to add to 15 in condescending order, you can pretty much play cribbage anywhere.
Awesome, great job. What time do you have?
6:49.
6:49. All right, Ariana, you will be last set today.